In this video, we are going to show you the perfect itinerary for Buenos Aires. One of the questions we get the most is how to build a logical itinerary through the most European city in South America, enjoying the incredible gastronomy and favorable exchange rate without falling into traps. To see the absolute basics, just the center, and Caminito, you need 3 days. But to take it easy, enjoy the Palermo parks, watch a tango show, and eat at the best restaurants we recommend at least 5 to 6 days. That is why we prepared a super complete 6-day itinerary with the best of Buenos Aires grouped by region so you do not waste time. So let us get started. What is the best time to visit Buenos Aires? The city has 4 well-defined seasons. The best time by far is spring from September to November, when the jacarandas bloom, turning the streets purple, and the weather is delicious. Autumn from March to May is also excellent. Summer from December to February is very hot and humid, and the city gets a bit empty as the locals travel. Winter from June to August is cold and charming, ideal for drinking wine and eating pasta, but requires a heavy coat. And how many days to stay in Buenos Aires? The city is giant and flat, great for walking. The number one mistake is thinking it is just a weekend destination. It consists of huge neighborhoods like Palermo and Recoleta. The bare minimum we recommend is 4 full days, but the ideal is 6 days to include a trip to the Tigre Delta or just enjoy the nightlife without rushing. Now let us talk about transportation. How to get around Buenos Aires. To arrive, you have 2 options. Aeroparque Jorge Newbery is inside the city next to Palermo and is the best option by far. Ezeiza Airport is far, about an hour from the center. From Ezeiza, the official taxi or Uber costs about $25 to $30. From Aeroparque, it costs about $6. To get around within the city, do not rent a car. Traffic is chaotic and there is nowhere to park. Public transport is very good. The subway, called Subte, is old but efficient. You need to buy the Sub card at any Kiosco convenience store and load it with pesos. Taxis and ride-sharing apps like Uber and Cabify are extremely cheap for international tourists due to the exchange rate, so it is worth using for comfort, especially at night. Now let us get to the day by day. Day 1. The historic center and icons. Start the day at the obelisk on 9 de Julio Avenue, the widest in the world. Take the classic photo at the BA vertical garden letters. Walk to the Teatro Colón. It is one of the most important opera houses in the world. Take the guided tour to see the Golden Hall. It costs about $10. Continue walking along Avenida Roque Sáenz Peña to Plaza de Mayo. There you see the Casa Rosada, the seat of government. If it is a weekend, there is a scheduled free guided tour. Enter the Metropolitan Cathedral, where Pope Francis used to say Mass. For lunch, walk back along Avenida de Mayo and stop at Café Tortoni, the oldest in the city. If the line is long, go to London City nearby. In the afternoon, walk along Florida Street, the shopping pedestrian mall, and visit Galerías Pacifico, a mall with a ceiling painted like the Sistine Chapel. End the day eating pizza at Guerin on Corrientes Avenue. It is a chaotic and delicious experience. Staying in a good region will make your trip much easier. The strategy in Buenos Aires is to choose between classic luxury nightlife or economy. The first option, and our favorite, is Palermo, especially Palermo Soho or Hollywood. The advantage is that you are surrounded by the best restaurants, design shops, and bars. Life happens here. The disadvantage is that it is a little further from the historic center. The second option is Recoleta. The advantage is being the chic neighborhood with French architecture, safe and close to museums. The disadvantage is that some parts do not have a subway nearby. The third option is the center or microcentro. The advantage is the low price and proximity to the subway and tourist attractions. The disadvantage is that the area becomes deserted and a bit unsafe at night. We created this personalized map that explains exactly which is the best region. Staying near a substation, you cannot go wrong. We will leave here on the screen QR code and in the video description the link to this map. We created them on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices and free cancellation. And remembering that in this link below, we always organize everything you need to set up your entire trip for the lowest price. The sites we use to build our trips, and that have everything much cheaper, such as international eSIM cell phone, chip discounted travel insurance tickets for all the attractions we mentioned, good and cheap hotels we have already stayed at, and the global account to carry money. An extra tip: use Western Union to send money to yourself because the rate is usually almost double the official one, making your trip very cheap. Save this page in your favorites. Day 2. The Paris of South America, Recoleta. Start the day at the El Ateneo Grand Splendid Bookstore. It was an old theater and was voted the most beautiful bookstore in the world. The stage became a cafe. Walk to the Recoleta Cemetery. It is an open-air museum with impressive mausoleums, including the tomb of Evita Perón. Entry costs about $6 and only accepts cards. Next door, visit the Recoleta Cultural Center and the craft fair if it is a weekend. Have lunch at the Hard Rock Cafe there in the complex, or at the traditional La Biela. In the afternoon, walk to the Floralis Generica, the giant metal flower that opens and closes with the sun. Visit the National Museum of Fine Arts, which is free and has works by Van Gogh and Monet. Have dinner at Fervor to taste grilled seafood, or at El Club de la Milanesa for a cheap typical dish. Day 3. Nature and Charm. Palermo. Start the day at the Palermo Woods. Visit the Rosadal, a garden with thousands of roses that is beautiful in spring. You can rent a paddle boat on the lake. Walk to the Japanese Garden. It is an impeccable park with red bridges and koi fish. The entrance costs $3. For lunch, go to the Palermo Soho region around Plaza Serrano. It is full of steakhouses and cafes. Try a table at Don Julio or La Cabrera, but book months in advance. If you cannot get in, Caldon del Soho is excellent. In the afternoon, explore the design shops and independent clothing stores on the cobblestone streets of Palermo. Have an ice cream at Luciano S. or Freddo. Day 4. Tango and Colors. La Boca and San Telmo. In the morning, take a taxi or app ride to Caminito in the La Boca neighborhood. It is the most colorful street with zinc houses and tango dancers. It is very touristy but mandatory. Visit the Boca Juniors La Bombonera Stadium nearby. Be careful when leaving the tourist zone on foot, as the neighborhood is dangerous. From there, go to San Telmo. If it is Sunday, there is the Antique Fair on Defensa Street, which is huge. Have lunch at the San Telmo Market. It is an old market full of gourmet food stalls, empanadas, and choripan. Take a picture with the Mafalda statue at the corner of Chile and Defensa Streets. At night, watch a tango show. Madero Tango is Broadway style with dinner and harbor view. Piazzolla Tango is more classic in an old theater. Day 5. Modernity and River. Puerto Madero. Start the day at the Costanera Sur Ecological Reserve. It is a huge green area on the banks of the Rio de la Plata, great for walking or renting a bike. Walk along the boardwalk of Puerto Madero, the revitalized port area full of modern buildings. Cross the Puente de la Mujer, a work by architect Calatrava. Have lunch at one of the famous steakhouses like Cabaña Las Lilas or Siga la Vaca, which is an all-you-can-eat buffet and has good value for money. In the afternoon, visit the Fragata Sarmiento Museum ship anchored there. End the day having a drink on the terrace of Hotel Faena or at one of the bars overlooking the dike. Day 6. Day trip. Tigre or Colonia. If you have one more day, take the train at Retiro Station to the city of Tigre, about an hour away. There you take a boat tour through the Tigre Delta, seeing the houses on the islands and life on the river. Visit Puerto de Frutos, a craft and decoration market. Another option is to take the fast boat Buquebus or Colonia Express and cross the river to Colonia del Sacramento in Uruguay. It is a charming Portuguese colonial town. The boat takes 1 hour. An important tip is to buy tickets for attractions in advance. Tango shows and the guided tour at Casa Rosada, when available, sell out. We will leave in the QR code on the screen and in the description the link to the site where we always buy tickets for the lowest price. It is the largest tour site in the world, and you buy in dollars often with payment plans and no foreign transaction fees. Quick shopping tips. Florida Street for leather and exchange houses. Murillo Street in the Villa Crespo neighborhood for factory direct leather jacket outlets. Distrito Arcos in Palermo for sports brands and clothing outlets. Supermarkets to buy Malbec wine and Alfajor at ridiculously cheap prices. And how much does it cost to eat in Buenos Aires? With the parallel exchange rate, Blue Western Union, it is very cheap. A sirloin steak with sides costs about $12. An empanada costs less than $1. A full dinner with wine in a good restaurant costs about $20 per person. The golden tip is to bring cash in exchange at Western Union or use global digital cards. And what to do at night? Buenos Aires does not sleep. Palermo is the center of clubbing with gin and tonic bars and craft breweries. Milongas are places where real tango is danced, like La Viruta. Corrientes Avenue is full of theaters and bookstores that stay open late. And if you are traveling with kids, they will love the Children's Museum in the Abasto Mall, the Planetarium in Palermo, and the Eco Park where some animals roam free. Mandatory documentation for international tourists. To enter Argentina, rules are simple. You generally just need your valid passport. Driver S licenses do not serve as an entry document. No visa is required for tourism. And remembering travel insurance. Medical costs in Argentina for tourists are charged and can be expensive in quality private clinics. We never travel without it. And in the link in the description, there is the comparator we use, which always finds insurance for half the price comparing the best insurers on the market. We will leave the link in the description for you to guarantee this protection. If you liked this detailed itinerary, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much and safe travels.